The Cleveland Browns just signed a handful of players. We're going to break that down. If you're new to the channel, we make videos for teams that don't get the love nationally like they should. We're Detroit Lions fans, but we cover the Browns for sure because they don't get the love nationally. They had a great season, especially with all the injuries. And Lions fans, Browns fans, very similar. Seen a lot of heartache over the years, but we're hanging in there. Okay, Browns, here's what they did. So they signed 9 guys on futures contract. What that means is they're saying they're committing to these guys, hey, we want you back. We want you in training camp with the Cleveland Browns next year. So what's in it for the team is they can kind of lock that in and they know who they've got coming back to be practice squad, possibly make the team. And what's in it for these guys is they like, all right, we know where we're going to go next year to kind of start training camp and see what happens. Hopefully we can make the team, see what happens. But that's what this futures contract is. If you're really good and you know you're going to be on a team, you wouldn't sign this. You'd be like a normal free agent going to find somewhere. I'm going to see what I can do. But they want to take their chances on the Browns. So all of these guys were on the Browns practice squad kind of when the season ended, and they were able to retain all of them. All of these guys to come back. So that's really good. And a couple things on this, and there's a couple new guys that they got from other practice squads around the league. We'll get to that in just a second. But what I like about this is what's interesting, I guess, is a lot of defenders on this list. These Vincent Gray, he's a Michigan guy. I really like him. Lonnie Phelps, Isaiah Thomas, Chris Williams. So they're the Browns, as they go into the offseason, are going to look for some offensive players, especially wide receiver. Defense is really stacked and should be good going into next year as well. But there's a couple guys on here that I wanted to highlight. So first one, well, let's go to who some of these new guys are. So first guy they get is linebacker Caleb Johnson. They get him on a futures contract. He was with the Jets, Steelers, and Cardinals. But this is a linebacker, 6'1", 235. So another defensive player. Fine, love it. Another one, big defensive tackle, Jaden Peavy out of Texas A&M. He spent time with the Titans Panthers practice squad. Now, the thing I like about this guy is, man, anytime you can get defensive tackles, you do it. And this guy started off strong. He was undrafted in 2022 out of Texas A&M, but Texas A&M, he was a good, productive guy. He was a U.S. Army. He was an All-American coming out of high school. Goes to Texas A&M, has a good career there, and then goes to the Titans. And he was elevated to the active roster for the last game of the season, and he had 27 snaps, like great, right? In the 23 season, he made the final roster. However, he was released just one game into the season, goes to the Panthers, doesn't sign a deal after that, and that's where the Browns pick him up. You always sign defensive tackles, corners, defensive end. You cannot go wrong. Like you cannot go wrong. So let me know your thoughts, Browns fans, on this next guy too. John Kelly. He's a running back. Now the running back room with the Browns could be changing a little bit. So let me know, Browns fans, on John Kelly. He's played with the Browns for a few games now. You can see that he was a draft pick of the Rams, played in 4 games each season in 2018 and 19. And then 2021 and 22, not much. So curious your thoughts on him. See if he can do something in the running back room, or is that somebody you would have to draft? Now, as we look at the draft board and what that looks like, we've been going off of this Tankathon mock draft to see what the Browns might do. And you can see their first pick's 54. Xavier Worthy. We've looked at this a few different ways, and here's what we've come up with. If the Browns can draft a couple of playmakers, partner with Deshaun Watson, Dorsey's the new offensive coordinator. Offensively, it can be better, and that's what's encouraging if you're a Browns fan. I mean, come on. Offensively, just got to be better. Defensively, you're going to be fine. You're going to be in every game. Can you figure out a way to be better offensively? Wide receiver at 54 makes sense. You look at the salary cap situation. This is another kind of area of concern. You never like this, but there's a lot that can be done. You look at the Browns down here, they're 19 million under the cap right now, or over the cap, I guess you should say. Over the cap. There's contract restructuring, there's releasing guys. I think they can get under and in good shape a lot easier than we think. And another thing too with these picks, don't forget the Rams. Remember the Rams trading away everybody under the sun, or trading picks away for elite players. And the thing about the Rams is they draft Puka Nacua, right? Those guys are out there. It's you got to hit. So the Browns are in a situation where they got to hit on their draft picks. Don't have a first round pick. Fine. You've got the franchise quarterback. You got to do some restructuring. Be smart with your free agents. We looked at how Hollywood Browns had some injuries from the Cardinals. He could be a guy that comes over cheap, 1-year deal type stuff. So there's options out there. You've got all your practice squad guys back. You've added some additional practice squad guys. Those are, under the radar type moves that, aren't going to be flashy, but you've got that set. You need a playmaker, wide receiver. You always need depth on the offensive line and running back. I don't know what running back looks like and what that's going to ultimately pan out to be, but the Browns are in good shape, and the Lions and the Browns are just such on a good future is bright because of Brad Holmes, GM of the Lions, Andrew Berry, GM of the Browns. When you have good GMs, you can draft well, and that's what it's going to come down to for the Browns. So let's go a little layer deeper here, because with the Lions, the top 10 best players on the Lions were drafted. They weren't free agents, right? And that's how it's got to be. So you look at the Browns here. Let's look. So they go running back. Yeah, the running back room is something that we have to keep an eye on for the Browns. And Trey Benson out of Florida State, love it. Miami forfeiting picks just constantly. I don't even know what that means, but it's like, what is going on? Let's go back here. So 3rd round pick, the Browns have the 85th pick. 4th round pick. Do they have a 4th round pick? No. 5th round pick, early 5, 2 picks in the 5th. Okay. 2 picks in the 6th round, did I see? Yep, 2 picks in the 6th round, and then a pick in the 7th round. So just because you don't have a first round pick it's fine, right? Like, I'm not worried about it at all. So I think the Browns are in great shape. This offseason is going to be huge. There's going to be a ton of movement because of the cap situation. They'll figure it out, but that means there's going to be a lot of movement, and the offense needs to get better, need to add playmakers. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.